The final answer to the Old Man Cap paradox. Why Captain America's choice isn't a plot hole, a multiversal resolution. The apparent paradox of Captain America's time travel to live with Peggy Carter, an act that seems to contradict the TVA's purpose, is not a plot hole, but a sophisticated narrative element. The resolution lies in understanding the true self-serving nature of the TVA and the cataclysmic events of the Loki series. The apparent contradiction is, in fact, the key to understanding the deeper, more complex narrative of the MCU's multiverse saga. 1. The predetermined path. A sanctioned canon event. Before the events of Loki, the entire timeline, known as the Sacred Timeline, was under the meticulous control of He Who Remains. His mission was not to prevent all temporal deviations, but to prevent the creation of timelines that would lead to the rise of his multiversal variants, who would wage a devastating war. The events of the time heist, and by extension Captain America's journey, were not a mistake. They were pre-approved canon events. He Who Remains' grand design. He Who Remains knew the Avengers would reverse Thanos' snap and that Captain America would return to live with Peggy. This was a necessary element of his plan to keep his single curated timeline in existence. Arbitrary rules. The TVA's rules were not objective laws of physics, but subjective, tyrannical criteria. A Nexus event was only an event that threatened the sacred timeline by creating a branch that could lead to a Kang variant. Captain America's trip with Peggy, in that context, was not a threat and therefore was permitted. 2. The multiversal cataclysm, Sylvie's choice, and the unleashing of time. The fundamental shift that retroactively validates Captain America's choice is the conclusion of Loki Season 1. When Loki and Sylvie reach the Citadel at the end of time, they confront He Who Remains. Sylvie's decision to kill him is a multiversal event of unimaginable scale. The sacred timeline shatters. By killing He Who Remains, Sylvie removes the sole entity maintaining the single, curated timeline. The timeline immediately begins to branch uncontrollably, giving birth to the true, untamed multiverse. The TVA's new purpose. The TVA is no longer a tool for enforcing a single timeline. Instead, it becomes a chaotic, fractured organization trying to manage the now infinite number of timelines. The concept of a Nexus event as a violation of a singular sacred path ceases to exist. 3. Retroactive validation, from paradox to a new reality. The true resolution to the paradox lies in this post-Loki reality. The very law